Archana. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make ratatouille served along with a grilled cottage cheese steak. Ratatouille is a traditional provincial French vegetarian stew that originated from Nice. It's got a variety of vegetables. The main ingredients are tomatoes, eggplants, and zucchini, also called as courgettes. Without wasting any time, let's dive right in to see how to make one of the most delicious vegetarian French dishes. The main ingredient of a ratatouille is tomatoes, as I mentioned earlier. So I have with me some blanched tomatoes that I've peeled and de-seeded. What I'm going to do now is you can either chop them finely, or I'm going to use my hand blender and blend it coarsely. I don't want it like a fine puree, so I'm just going to give it a pulse. Perfect. So now you see you have like a little chunky tomato sauce with you that I have with the blanched tomatoes. And now we begin to start making the ratatouille. So I have already preheated my heavy bottom pan. To this, I'm going to add in a quarter cup of olive oil. Yes, there's a lot of olive oil that goes into this. That brings out the essential flavors of this dish. And I'm going to grate in a couple of cloves of garlic. You can either finely mince them or grate them. I like the grater because it's really not messy and it just goes into the pot directly. I'm going to add in the diced onions. You don't want them to be finely chopped. You want them to be diced small. So the ratatouille has some texture of all the vegetables. Okay, and here's my spatula. Give the onions a good stir and cook for a couple of minutes until they become lightly caramelized, tender, soft. Notice that the onions are softened and they're getting brown and a little caramelized. You don't want them to caramelize too much. At this stage, I'm going to add in the eggplants. I have diced them small again and I've soaked them in salted water so they don't get brown. I'm going to take them out and drop it in. Stir the ingredients well, and you want the eggplants to get roasted well in the oil until it becomes softened. And you don't want it to be too soft because we're going to be cooking it in the tomato sauce as well. So you want it to be just the right amount of softness, as they call it, al dente. I'm going to sprinkle some salt at this stage so the eggplants tend to cook and release some water and cook faster as well. If I press them a little bit, it goes down. It's not hard, nor is it too soft that it mushes itself up. At this stage, I'm going to add in the diced red bell peppers. You could use any variety. The zucchini, also known as courgettes or squash, the green squash. Okay. You don't want to cook them too much because the red bell peppers and the zucchini tend to cook really fast. And we're going to be adding the tomatoes and the salt, and then they'll get soft eventually when we're going to simmer them. I'm going to add in the fresh, blanched, chopped, semi-pureed tomatoes. Stir it in. Going to add in some salt. Do make sure to check the salt levels because you added some salt earlier as well. I have some fresh basil. What I'm going to do now, roughly chop them. Add it in. Now I'm going to add in some parsley as well. Roughly chop the parsley. Add it in. Oh, smelling delicious, full of flavors of all the fresh herbs. I'm gonna give this a little bit of taste to make sure. Perfect. I'm gonna turn the heat to low, cover the pan, and simmer the ratatouille for about 10 to 15 minutes. The flavors from the herbs and the tomatoes and the vegetables will come right through. While my ratatouille is simmering, I'm going to make the grilled cottage cheese steak. And I have with me a big slab of cottage cheese. You call it paneer in India. What I'm now going to do is I have to season and coat the cottage cheese with breadcrumbs. What I'm going to do is now to sprinkle some salt into the breadcrumbs. And I'm going to add in some herbs. This is rosemary. Mix it up. So you have flavored breadcrumbs right there. You could also add your pizza seasoning that you have, or Italian seasoning, or herbs de Provence. Spice up your breadcrumbs so your steak tastes delicious. This is a thick slab. What I'm going to do is to slice the slab into half. And coat the cottage cheese slab with the breadcrumbs. Press it in. And now my pan is preheating. I have a grill pan here. I'm going to pour in some oil. Take a napkin and spread the oil around quickly. I can see the steam coming out. It's preheated. In a place. Cottage cheese inside. Coat the other breadcrumbs. Place the other one as well. Press it down so you get nice sear marks on your steak. If you're going to be using tofu, choose a harder variety, firm variety of tofu, so it doesn't break apart when you press it down. So what I do now is to take some oil and drizzle it. So the breadcrumbs crispen up. If your pan is not well greased, I think mine is not very perfectly greased, you might end up with some of the steak sticking to the bottom. Well, I'm gonna cross my fingers. There you go. Well, partially, I do have some sear marks. Gonna sprinkle more of the breadcrumbs and press it in. Let's check this one. Oh, not bad at all. So it's important that you have your pan well greased and so that the steak doesn't stick to it. This is a cast iron pan, so it's really important that you grease it well. And it's well seasoned. And now we're going to assemble the grilled cottage cheese steak with ratatouille. Ratatouille. Let me pronounce it the right way. Place the ratatouille on the serving platter. Perfect. I like lots of it. And I'm gonna take the grilled steak off the pan and place it right above this. Ah, like the rosemary that's stuck on the top. Perfect. Delicious freshness from the herbs and the olive oil and the vegetables with the grilled cottage cheese. I love it. You have to try this in your kitchen. And when you do, don't forget to share it with your family, friends, and even try it in your kitchen. And comment below. I love to hear back from you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because it's free and you get free recipe videos every time. So until then, happy cooking and healthy eating.